The final thing to know about sleep in this need to know segment of the sleep module is that sleep deprivation is stressful. Now, most of you know that there's a relationship between poor sleep and stress. And probably where your mind goes is, oh, yes, sometimes when I'm stressed, I can't sleep. And yes, that is one obvious direction the arrow points. But it's also true that when you're not sleeping well, when you're sleep deprived, your body produces tons of cortisol. Sleep deprivation is the most potent stressor that we can use in the laboratory when we want people to secrete a lot of cortisol so we can see how it disrupts their cognitions or their wellness. So just understand this, that the causal arrows point in both directions. So the more stressed you are, yes, for many people, the harder it is to sleep, or at least sleep well. Because remember, it's not just about quantity, it's also about the quality of the sleep architecture in those stages we talked about. But it's also the case that the higher your stress levels, the more sleep deprived you become, the more cortisol your body produces, which increases what we call allostatic load, which is the amount of stress you're under. And the more stress you're under, the harder it is to sleep well. The less you're sleeping, or the less high quality, or the more fragmented your sleep is, the more your stress levels and your cortisol levels go up. And round and round and round you go. I call this the sleep stress snowball. And the problem with it is that not only is it miserable to experience, but the more nights you spend like that, the more stressed you are and your sleep is suffering. The more your sleep is suffering and the more cortisol your body produces, the more your brain locks that in. So the brain is basically an incredibly complex association machine. And that's where it starts associating the bed and the bedroom, or even the act of going to sleep, with fear, with stress. This is also where you just learn that you can't sleep well, and therefore you're going to be stressed. And you're so stressed that that might impact your sleep. Even if you're not consciously thinking about this, the brain is building a set of learning associations between stress and sleep, because that is what's happening in the brain and the body. You're secreting more and more cortisol, which is making it harder to sleep. The less you sleep, the more stressed you are, and round you go. So we don't want you getting stuck in that sleep stress snowball. So another thing we'll be talking about in the deep dive is how to treat that if it's already happening to you, and if it isn't yet, how to make sure it never does, because it's a really tough insomnia spiral or sleep stress spiral once your brain is locked in.